Welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today we're exploring something pretty fascinating, the link between cats and aging.
Cats and aging.
Yeah. We'll be taking a look at feline friends. They might just hold some clues about how we age.
Huh, that is surprising. I mean, cats are a good model for understanding human aging.
So I gotta ask,
They don't give us the whole picture.
right.
They only live, what, 2, 3 years?
Yeah.
That's like hitting fast forward, on the whole aging process.
Yeah.
They don't really experience that gradual decline that we see in humans.
So their aging process isn't really a good comparison to ours.
It's exactly. You think about Alzheimer's disease, it's a complex condition, right? And it takes decades to develop. Mice just don't live long enough to develop the same amyloid plaques that we see in humans, those protein clumps.
Oh, where?
Yeah, cats, on the other hand, they have lifespans that are much more comparable to ours.
So cats are more like a slow burn than aging-wise, which I guess makes more sense when you think about how we age.
Right.
But, I mean, is lifespan the only reason that we're looking at cats for this?
Well, longer lifespans are definitely a plus, but there's more to it than that.
Okay.
Cats share our environment. A lot of times they share our lifestyles too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they're exposed to similar things that we are.
Hmm.
And they can give us a unique window into how environment and lifestyle, how those factors actually affect aging. That's something that mice just can't really offer.
That's really interesting. It's almost like they're these little furry mirrors, like reflecting back at us, how our own choices might be impacting how we age.
Right. And the article points out another similarity too, and it's a crucial one.
Hmm.
Cats go through a lot of the same age-related changes that we do.
Oh, okay. Like what?
They experience cognitive decline. Their brain volume changes over time. They could even develop those amyloid plaques we talked about earlier.
Wait, so you mean when my cat forgets where they just buried their toy, it's not just them being silly?
Well, it could be. But
It could be age-related cognitive decline.
it could be a factor, yeah. But the point is, these parallels between cat and human aging go beyond, just the superficial stuff.
Right.
It's not just about them sleeping a lot,
Yeah.
like we might want to as we get older.
Right.
It's that their biology is actually giving us real insights into how we age.
This is starting to make me look at my cat a little differently. So, how are researchers actually taking advantage of these similarities? I know we touched on this a little earlier, but you mentioned something called the Cattage Project.
Yeah, the Cattage Project, it's a really ambitious undertaking. Basically, what they're doing is researchers are gathering data from thousands of cats,
Wow.
everything from health records, blood samples, even brain scans. They're trying to build this incredible database to map out how cat and human ages relate to each other on, like a biological level.
Wow, that sounds like a massive, massive undertaking. I mean, the article even mentioned comparing a 1-year-old cat to an 18-year-old human, a 15-year-old cat to an 80-year-old human. I mean, that's huge. What's the point of even making these comparisons?
It's not just about saying, oh, look, a 10-year-old cat is like a 60-year-old human.
Yeah.
It's about going deeper and understanding why those correlations exist. What are the underlying genetic and environmental factors that drive aging in both cats and humans?
Yeah.
And how can we use that knowledge to, develop treatments for age-related diseases? Those findings into therapies that could delay or even prevent diseases like Alzheimer's.
That would be incredible. But the article also mentions that cats aren't the only ones, right? There are other animal models playing a part in aging research.
Oh, absolutely. Cracking the code of aging requires a multifaceted approach.
Yeah.
Mice, even though they have their limitations, they're still really valuable for genetic studies. And we can't forget about non-human primates, our closest evolutionary relatives.
Right. So we're kind of looking at this whole network of animals, right? Each one kind of offering a different piece of the puzzle when it comes to understanding aging.
Yeah, exactly. Mice, for example, they have short lifespans, and it's relatively easy to manipulate their genes. So they're really good for testing out specific theories about how aging works at, like a molecular level.
Okay.
But if you want to study the really complex age-related diseases, the ones that develop over decades, then primates end up being a much closer parallel to human biology.
Or like each animal is like a different tool in a toolbox, right? Each one has its own strengths and weaknesses.
That's a great way to put it. And by combining those tools, researchers can get a much more complete picture of aging. They can start to see how genes, environment, and lifestyle, how all those factors interact and contribute to how we age.
It's really fascinating to me that we can study these different animals and learn so much about ourselves.
Yeah, it really does show how interconnected life on Earth is. By looking at how aging works in all these different species, we're learning things that could benefit human health and animal health.
This all makes me wonder, with all this research going on, if scientists can figure out how to make animals live longer, like those naked mole rats, the ones that live forever.
Uh-huh.
Could we use those same principles to help humans live longer too? I mean, could we actually extend our lifespans?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's a question that sparks a lot of debate.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it raises a lot of ethical questions too. Even if we could live much longer, should we? What kind of impact would that have on everything? Society, resources, even the planet.
And it's not just about living longer either. It's about living healthier for longer.
Oh,
I
right.
mean, we don't just want to add years onto our lives if those extra years are filled with, decline and health problems.
Right. That's a really important distinction. It's not just about the quantity of life, but the quality of it.
Absolutely. And that's really where the focus of aging research is shifting. We're not just trying to slow down the clock. We're trying to understand aging so we can target those things that contribute to age-related diseases.
So it's kind of like instead of trying to add years to our lives, we're trying to figure out how to make the years we already have healthier and more fulfilling, right?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about helping people live their best lives for as long as possible.
This whole conversation has really given me a new perspective on my own cat. Before this, I was just focused on, keeping him happy, but now I'm realizing that he might actually be contributing to this groundbreaking research that could have a real impact.
All the breakthroughs that could come from this research.
Hmm.
We're not just accepting aging as something that just happens anymore. We're starting to understand it as a process that we can potentially influence. It's a really exciting time to be following the science of aging. I think we're on the verge of some really groundbreaking discoveries that could totally change how we live and how long we live.
I think that's a great point to wrap up this deep dive. Okay, so let's take a minute to recap everything. We started this deep dive talking about cats and aging research, and it honestly was a pretty unexpected connection. So, what did we learn?
Well, we learned that cats, those furry little friends we have at home, they're more than just pets. They're actually helping researchers understand the human aging process in some pretty amazing ways.
Yeah. It's really incredible how much we can learn from studying all these different animals, from mice to primates and even those crazy naked mole rats. Each one is giving us a different piece of the puzzle.
It's like a team effort.
Right.
Each animal model is contributing something unique. And by putting all those pieces together, we're starting to move past just trying to slow down aging. We're looking at ways to actually target those things that cause age-related diseases.
Imagine a future where we don't just live longer, but we actually live healthier for longer too. A future where things like Alzheimer's are, a thing of the past. It's pretty exciting to think about. And it seems like the research on cats is playing a big part in making that a reality.
It really shows us that scientific discoveries can come from the most unexpected places. Sometimes the key to understanding human health and living longer is right there with us, purring on the couch.
I love that. It leaves us with so much to think about. As scientists learn more about aging, what does it mean for all of us? How will it change how we live, how we think about getting older, and the choices we make about our health?
Those are some great questions. And I really encourage everyone to keep learning about this stuff, keep asking questions, and stay curious about the amazing things science is teaching us about ourselves and the world around us.
I couldn't agree more. So, thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive into the world of cats and aging research. It's been fascinating, and I hope everyone learned something new and interesting today.